Are you looking to buy or sell MUT coins? Look no further than MrMutCoin.com. They're safe, fast, and secure. Cheapest coins on the internet when you use code Ryan at checkout to get 20% off. So lately, I don't know, I just been really liking on YouTube how people like to do rebuilds and simulations and, you know, all that nice stuff while using franchise mode. I think franchise mode is one of those things that I haven't really touched in a long time, and I realized that if you actually go into franchise, you could actually begin where we currently are in the NFL. So entering into week 10, all the current standings, all the current stats, all the league leaders, everything about that we have in our fingertips right here, where we can control it or we could simulate it. So what we're going to go ahead and do is the only thing we're going to do is turn off injuries. That way we know if it were to end the way Madden thinks it's going to end, how is it going to be? Now, taking a look at the actual stats that we currently have, obviously Tom Brady, Alex Smith, Russell Wilson, Carson Wentz, all the league leaders we have here. Running backs, we got Kareem Hunt, we got Ezekiel Elliott, we got Le'Veon Bell, Jordan Howard, Todd Gurley, Jay Ajayi, just to name a couple. We got Antonio Brown, Jarvis Landry, Christian McCaffrey. These are all reception leaders. Here are the yards leaders: Antonio Brown, T.Y. Hilton, DeAndre Hopkins, Julio Jones, Travis Kelce, so on and so forth. Defensive leaders, we currently have Zach Brown leading in tackles with Mosley and Davis not too far behind. Sack leaders, we currently do have Everson Griffin, DeMarcus Lawrence, Chandler Jones, and Calais Campbell, and Joey Bosa, again, to name a few. Interception leaders, Kevin Byard, Micah Hyde, Jalen Mills, so on and so forth. So the first thing we want to go ahead and do now is simulate to the playoffs. Let's go ahead and sim ahead and see what happens here exactly as Madden thinks it is going to happen. What in the world is Madden going to say is going to happen for the rest of the season? Here we go. We are currently in the playoffs, and let's go ahead and take a look. Obviously, I'm using the Tennessee Titans, and it says the Tennessee Titans are going to win the AFC South at 11-5, with the Jaguars only making it 8-8. You got to be kidding me. Jaguars are looking really, really good. I don't think it's going to be that way, but this is what Madden thinks. Steelers winning that division with the Ravens entering into a wild card spot. Tennessee at 11-5, Jaguars at 8-8. The Patriots at 10-5-1 with a tie. I guess that was to the Steelers. They also had a tie, and also I think the Jets have a tie as well. So Madden thinks the Jets and the Steelers and the Patriots are all going to have ties. Chargers at 10-6 with the Broncos at 9-7 with a wild card spot. Raiders and Chiefs do not make the playoffs at 8-8 apiece. That's kind of crazy. Then we got the Vikings winning the division at 10-6. Packers at 8-8. Lions at 7-9. Falcons with 11-5. Winning the division. Saints at 10-6. There's the other tie, 7-8-1 for the Panthers. The Eagles winning the division and going as a #1 seed at 14-2. We got the Rams at 11-5. Seahawks at 10-6. They say 49ers only win that one game against the Giants, and that is it. Looks like the Tennessee Titans and the Steelers are the #1 and 2 seed in the AFC, followed by the Patriots, the Chargers, the Broncos, the Ravens, all making the playoffs there. So that would actually be really cool for me, obviously. Eagles and Falcons are your buys. Rams, Vikings, Saints, and Seahawks all making the playoffs here. 10-6 ends up getting you into the playoffs there for sure. So player stats, let's go ahead and take a look at how it felt the rest of the season would go. Going all NFL here. Looks like Mariota finished with a pretty good stat line, but Tom Brady nearly at 5,000 yards, 35 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions for him. That's really good. Stafford right behind him at 4,559 yards with 29 touchdowns and 16 picks. Phillip Rivers finishing off strong, 33 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Russell Wilson, looks like he finished very, very good as well. Drew Brees, a little bit more picks here coming down to these guys. Big Ben finishing off okay. Kirk Cousins, nice season. Alex Smith finishes with 33 touchdowns and 5 picks. Derek Carr, 28-11. Dak Prescott, 33-14. Carson Wentz, 35-6. That's looking pretty good. Josh McCown even looks really good there. Jameis Winston, 25-9. Looking at the touchdowns now, 35 is going to be the max here with Brady and Wentz leading the way. Phillip Rivers with 33. Again, Russell Wilson, Alex Smith, and Dak all 33. Matt Stafford, Derek Carr, Drew Brees, so on and so forth. Looks like Trevor Siemian finishes with 27 as well. That's pretty crazy. Running backs. We got Todd Gurley here at 1476 with 17 touchdowns. We got Le'Veon Bell with 1435 and 11 touchdowns. And Zeke with 1364 and 13 touchdowns. So maybe Madden thinks Zeke is going to get unsuspended. That'd be pretty funny. Devonta Freeman, 1360 with 9 touchdowns. And Jordan Howard with 1306 and 8 touchdowns. So what people thought was going to be the Rookie of the Year, Kareem Hunt, only finishes with 1264 and 5 touchdowns. That's kind of surprising right there. Looks like Mark Ingram with a very, very good end of the season there, 13 touchdowns. Leonard Fournette, only 9. And we finish off here with Adrian Peterson getting back to that 1,000-yard mark with the Cardinals. Looking at wide receivers now, it's sorted by reception, so we're going to go ahead and sort it by yards here. Antonio Brown, 1488 with 8 touchdowns. Keenan Allen, 1285 and 6. Larry Fitz with another really big year. Brandon Cooks with 10 touchdowns. DeAndre Hopkins with 11. Julio finishes at 1149 with 6. T.Y. Hilton, very good season even without Andrew Luck. Dez Bryant gets up to 9 touchdowns. Jordy with 13. And it looks like that's going to round off. We also have Travis Kelce with 11 and Crabtree with 10. So that's really nice to see as well. Tight ends up there. Moving on to defenders here, we have Zach Brown finishing with 160 tackles, with Schobert not far behind at 147. A little bit of Brown love there. Wesley Woodyard 140, Luke Kuechly 140. We got Navarro Bowman down here with his new look team, the Raiders, looking pretty good there. Moving on over to sacks, we have Calais Campbell and Everson Griffin, both with 20.5 sacks. Very, very good. Joey Bosa and DeMarcus Lawrence right behind them with 18.5. We got Melvin Ingram with 17 and Leonard Floyd, Cameron Jordan tied at 15.5 with a couple of other guys here looking pretty good. Von Miller finishes with 14. Definitely, I think he would rather have a lot more than that. Interceptions, we got Micah Hyde with 8 and Kevin Byard with 8. Darius Slay and it looks like Demarius Randall both with 6. And then it looks like a ton of guys here with 5, being Kendall Fuller, Rashawn Melvin, Marcus Peters, and Devin McCourty, to name a couple. Then we got a couple of people here we want to take a look at for kicking. We got, I guess if you care about kickers, Steven Gostkowski with 31 field goals made. We're not going to really look at too much of that. I don't think really anyone cares about kicking and punting. Kickoff return yards, looks like Cordero Patterson led there with 2 touchdowns. And I think, yeah, a couple of other guys with 1 apiece, including Jarvis Landry and Shane Vereen, whatnot. Punt return yards, looks like Antonio Brown leads there at 366. Adoree Jackson not too far behind. And Antonio Brown with 2 punt return touchdowns. Jamal Agnew with 2. And a couple of other guys with 1. So now the next thing we want to go ahead and take a look at is the yearly rewards. Let's go ahead and see who won MVP of the season. It's going to be Russell Wilson winning MVP with his Seahawks going 10-6. Russell Wilson with Tom Brady, Alex Smith, Carson Wentz, Dak Prescott, Phillip Rivers, looks like Todd Gurley, Marcus Mariota, Matthew Stafford, and Drew Brees all receiving votes there for the MVP. So it looks like Russell Wilson is going to take it, according to Madden, followed by Tom Brady, in what would probably be a super close race. Coach of the Year is going to be Doug Peterson at 14-2. Mike Mularkey with the surprise number 1 seed Tennessee Titans at 11-5, getting it. Then a couple of other guys down here that you would probably expect to be in Coach of the Year, getting votes and whatnot. We're looking at the Offensive Player of the Year here for the AFC is going to be Alex Smith with his Chiefs going 8-8. Tom Brady, Phillip Rivers, Le'Veon Bell, Mariota again, Tyrod Taylor, Josh McCown, surprising to see him on there. Defensive Player of the Year, Kyle Van Noy of the New England Patriots with his 10-5-1 Pats. That's kind of surprising to see. Wesley Woodyard, obviously, also surprising. Melvin Ingram, we got Telvin Smith up there. Joey Bosa, Calais Campbell, Von Miller, all the usual suspects there. Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to Kareem Hunt with his 8-8 Chiefs, followed by the Leonard Fournette and Deshaun Watson of the AFC South. Juju Smith-Schuster, Corey Davis makes it up there. I guess Madden thinks he finishes off strong. TJ Watt, Defensive Rookie of the Year in the AFC. The way they do it here is you have to look at AFC and NFC. So these are only the AFC Defense and Offensive Rookie of the Years and Player of the Years. Here's the NFC where we got Russell Wilson and Carson Wentz being the Offensive Player of the Year, with obviously Russell Wilson winning it there, Carson Wentz being number 2. Cameron Jordan, Defensive Player of the Year, takes it right there with, looks like Griffin was right behind him, followed by Deion Jones. Here is Offensive Rookie of the Year of the NFC. We got Alvin Kamara, Christian McCaffrey, and all the other guys you would obviously expect up here. Mitchell Trubisky, Defensive Rookie of the Year in the NFC, Jared Davis, and a couple of other dudes here. I'm really surprised not to see Marshawn Lattimore as number 1. I guess Madden doesn't think he finishes off too well there. So now let's go ahead and start the simulation of the playoffs. How does Madden think it is going to play out? Let's go ahead and take a look here. Playoff schedule. We already simulated the wild card round, and this is what we end up having here. We're not going to keep going back of the menu. I just went ahead and edited it down so we can make it a little bit quicker. But it does have the Ravens beating the Patriots in the wild card round. That's shocking. Seahawks losing to the Rams by 1 point. And then we also have Denver winning 35-19 over the LA Chargers. And then the Saints are going to go ahead and win 35-28, winning by a touchdown against the Minnesota Vikings. That is shocking, to say the least here, how it panned out in round 1. Ravens at Titans, Saints at Eagles, Broncos at Steelers, Rams at Falcons are your divisional round, and this is how it panned out. Titans taking the Ravens 35-14. The Philadelphia Eagles beating the New Orleans Saints 42-31. The Denver Broncos beating the Pittsburgh Steelers 35-30. And then the Rams beating the hell out of the Falcons 31-6. That is shocking as well right there to see. The Rams looking like the greatest show on turf 2.0 in my opinion. Here's how the conference schedule ends out. Denver edging out the Titans 31-28, and the Philadelphia Eagles beating that Rams team 35-14, setting up an Eagles and Broncos Super Bowl in which the Philadelphia Eagles edged them out 24-10, winning their very first Super Bowl of all time. Eagles fans rejoice. Can't wait for the EDP video. We got Carson Wentz, 200 yards, 2 touchdowns. Trevor Siemian with 213 with no touchdowns, no picks. Looking at the running backs here, looks like LeGarrette Blount with 84 yards, but 2 fumbles on the day. CJ Anderson, 63 with a touchdown. Jay Ajayi also with 52 yards. Receivers, we got Emmanuel Sanders and Nelson Aguilar leading the way. Looks like Burton caught a touchdown there for the Eagles. Moving down, we see Jay Ajayi getting a touchdown as well. Carson Wentz was on fire that game, looking pretty good. Sack-wise, we got Vinny Curry with 3, Brandon Graham with 2.5, and Shelby Harris with 2, with Tim Jernigan getting 1.5, Miller getting a sack, and Kendricks and Cox combining for a sack there. No picks. The Philadelphia Eagles, according to Madden, are going to win this year's Super Bowl. Let me know down below how you feel it ended out. Do you like the outcome? Are you an Eagles fan? Are you happy with your first Super Bowl? I know this is Madden. I know this is the way they think it's going to end. So again, let me know your thoughts, your comments, your opinions down below. Who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl this year? Who's going to be in the Super Bowl and who takes it? Let me know down below. Give the video a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.